Alright, sorry for this is Farmer John. I'm back. Sorry for that abrupt ending on the last one, but it cut off on a couple of my books, so I will continue from where I would have left off, or where I did leave off, whatever, I don't know. Anywho, this is Stephen King's Song of Susanna from the Dark Tower. Dark Tower 6. Sorry for the blurriness. I gotta work with my webcam a little bit more. And the last one in the series is the Dark Tower 7, the Dark Tower. And also, for every adamant Stephen King collector, you need this for the Dark Tower series. Well, I think it's 2 volumes in one. It's Stephen King's The Dark Tower. A complete concordance. It's got volume 1 and 2. It talks about all the places and people and words and songs of the Dark Tower series. This is pretty much the same thing, except it's in a comic form. Except this is just all about the characters that are in the story. It's called The Dark Tower, the Gunslinger Guidebook. Cool. And we also got this stories about baseball. It's called Stephen King's Blockade Billy. It's also got a short story of morality that was in Esquire magazine that I showed you earlier in part 1 of my Stephen King books. And this one doesn't have any cover, but it's a short story collection book. It's got quite a few stories in here. It's got Jerusalem's Lot, not to be confused with Salem's Lot, but although it does talk about it. Graveyard Shift, Night Surf, I Am the Doorway, The Mangler, The Boogeyman, Gray Matter, Battleground, Trucks, Sometimes They Come Back, Strawberry Spring, The Ledge, The Lawnmower Man, Quitters Inc., I Know What You Need, Children of the Corn, The Last Rung on the Ladder, The Man Who Loved Flowers, One for the Road, and The Woman in the Room. Anyway, that's Stephen King's Night Shift. Next is Stephen King's The Eyes of the Dragon. It's like a medieval story, but it's supposed to be pretty good. It's got some character names in there that are in the Dark Tower series, like King Roland and Flag and stuff like that. And we got another Bachman book, Richard Bachman book, called The Regulators. It's supposed to be a good book. Haven't read it yet. Then there's Stephen King's The Duma Key, which I heard is supposed to be pretty good too. I haven't read it. Then The Last Castle Rock story, which is Stephen King's Needful Things. Which is supposed to be pretty good too. I haven't had a chance to read that one either. a book based on the TV series Kingdom Hospital called The Journals of Eleanor Druce. See, Kingdom Hospital. I don't know if anybody has that movie or that miniseries, but it's good. Well, this isn't a Stephen King book, but it's the Conversations on Terror with Stephen King. It's called Bare Bones. I haven't read that yet, but it seems like it'd be a good book. This one is his latest book, or latest short story collection, I should say. It's got 1922, Big Driver, Fair Extension, A Good Marriage. Yeah, and that's all the stories in there. This is called Stephen King's Full Dark, No Stars. I read a couple of those in there, and like Big Driver 1922, those were good stories. This one's Stephen King's Christine. And I like the picture on the back of this. That's Stephen King with a Plymouth Fury. I don't know if it's the actual one they used in the movie. This one doesn't have a cover. This is the other part of the Talisman. This is the first book called Black House with Peter Straub. I started reading this a little bit. There's about this kid named Sawyer. Anyway, it's supposed to be a good book. I also got Hearts in Atlantis. Doesn't have a cover also. I got these from yard sales, the ones that don't have covers. But supposed to be pretty good. They also made a movie on that, actually, by the way, too. And here's another book without a cover, which I also got from a yard sale. It's called Gerald's Game. And actually, it's really different for Stephen King. It's like a very sexual-oriented book with a very disturbing backdrop. But anyway, and here's another short story book that he did that has quite a few short stories in it. This is called Stephen King's Just After Sunset. It's got Willa, the Gingerbread Girl, Harvey's Dream, Rest Stop, Stationary Bike, The Things They Left Behind, Graduation Afternoon, N, which is also a comic, The Cat from Hell, The New York Times at Special Bargain Rates, Mute, Iana, A Very Tight Place. That's all of them. And Gingerbread Girl, he also did a short story for Esquire magazine. And I've got two more left to show you. This one, from what I hear, is a collector's. It's called Stephen King's The Stand. It's the complete and uncut. Very big book. This is one of his longest books. And I think the second longest is the next one I'm going to show you, and the last one. I think this is the second longest book he had that he wrote. It was this one came out just after Sunset, and Full Dark, No Stars. This one came out just before Full Dark, No Stars. It's called Stephen King's Under the Dome. Cool cover. Actually has the place where the story takes place. And also, this is what really I got pride in. My dad got this for me for my 37th birthday. It says, Stan, happy 37th birthday, your dad, Bill Mason. God rest his soul. He passed away June of 2010. So this book really means a lot to me. And for now, that would be it. That's all my books, my paperbacks and my hardbacks. And next time when I come, make another video, I'll probably do my my movies of Stephen King, which I got quite a few of those too. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and see ya.